our second episode of Fusion Talks with Ahmed Helmy. So today's episode is going to dwell on the nexus of AI and sustainability, where code meets climate action. We want to explore how AI can serve people and planet by addressing complexity, enabling system thinking, and scaling real-world impact. So I know all eyes will be on this episode because it is a sweet spot everybody is anticipating and talking about. So we want to map the AI's role in sustainability, Ahmed. And in the end, this is the mission that we embarked from at Fusion Minds AI. So how can AI be leveraged to accelerate climate action and circularity, for example?
Okay, hi Yasmin. I think AI is not just for accelerating, but also it plays a role in contributing to the condition of sustainability. If you look at some of the latest reports, like the World Economic Forum and others, they say that actually, based on the current pace of building the data centers and the infrastructure to serve AI, you are looking at increasing the carbon emission by even almost 1.6 gigatons. Okay, that's a lot of emissions. So eventually, for this to be addressed, the AI should not only contribute to the advancement of human being, like helping you to simplify and do better job and become more productive, but to help resolve the challenges that come with sustainability. Because these challenges are either through analyzing data, is understanding and predicting different conditions that might impact pollution
Trends.
Or environmental, 100%, and environmental behavior. But most important is to work with people on putting in a strategy for long-term improvement overall in sustainability. Either it's in carbon emission, it's improving overall the fossil fuel consumption and shifting to more sustainable sources. So it's a tool that will help, but also has a responsibility to resolve the challenge that's bringing
Its
the
own
same topic.
footprint.
Absolutely, yes.
It's double-edged sword.
Yeah.
So where are the most promising use cases you've seen globally or locally?
I think if you start with the role of AI in sustainability, it can has multiple factors in impacting the strategy, but the ones that started to get some good traction is anything related to optimization. Starting from looking at the electric and power grids, for example, how you distribute them, how you make sure there is fair usage, how can you detect, the unpleasant and unexpected behavior when people, decided to do projects in the wrong place, for something as simple as that. The other part really is recycling. Even though it's like people think like this is something that we have mastered, you will be surprised that there are still some basic challenges, like the straws that we use for drinking. This is a very basic plastic material that we cannot recycle in many countries because most of the machines that was developed for recycling, they actually get clotted with these pieces. So they actually throw them. Same thing for the toothpaste tubes. It has aluminum, so it doesn't follow the plastic recycling, so it's very hard.
The multi-layer material.
Exactly. So these kind of things need different way of thinking. It's a problem, okay? And AI can definitely help by analyzing and also recommend. So optimization recommendation capabilities that require analyzing large number of data, starting from the life cycle of manufacturing. And that's where the value will come. Don't just engage AI to help you fix the current problem, but engage it to help you prevent the problem, which is when you took the decision from the beginning.
In the design process, not 100%. In the end only while segregating in a recycling facility where AI can detect material. In the design.
Yeah, and I think a lot of organization has been transparent, looking at their manufacturing cycles and their business in a transparent way. And they call it the vicious circle versus the virtuous circle. And that's where AI can take you. Okay, like, hey, this is what I'm doing today. It's profitable, it's working, but I think it's not sustainable. So what should we do? And let AI engage with you from the beginning to make these decisions.
To help us close the loop.
Yes.
Can you unpack how AI intersects with biodiversity, emissions, or social equity?
Look, I think these areas, when you engage AI in them, it requires very special skills, which is the AI reasoning. And it's something that's still coming up. It's the capability really of AI, not just to process data, but to make decision and improve this decision over time based on the continuous change and dynamics of the data that helped AI to do the decision. And that's the difference between using AI just for a simple use case like query or summarizing a document versus like working side by side, like what we're trying to do here, to drive with you a strategy on the long term. And through this journey, you will get to this influencing these decisions, understanding that, hey, this is how you're doing things, this is how it was working, it's profitable for you, we understand that, but we have better ways to still be profitable, still work, but you know what? We want you to do it in a better way. So biodegradation, for example, let me look at the materials you're using. Let's cut this material, not immediately, but at certain percentages and introduce something new. And as you see the value and you get used, because this impact everything. It impacts how you design, it impacts the skill set, processes, everything. So it's not about like stop and start.
And not only the renewable material that you want to integrate in the design is available in masses, so that you can shift the whole, let's say, portfolio of a certain product or packaging into an alternative.
100%.
The machinery sometimes need to be addressed. If it's food, it is the expiry, it could be impacted.
True. If you look at some, and that's why a lot of these decisions is not just about introducing AI. It's introducing an AI in a strategy that's driven throughout multiple organizations in different locations and even countries. So if you look like a lot of the shipping companies that are looking for alternative fuel, that's really the biofuels to reduce the emissions from the ships that's doing millions of miles every day. You immediately hear about some of the new fuel options like ammonia or like methanol. They don't even have a carbon atom in them, so they are zero emission. Great, let's go. But what will happen after that? Oh, we need to change the engines in the boat. We need different skill set. We need to look at different routes. So this is extra cost. So yes, you reduced some place, but so if this is done, for example, by one harbor or one country, that's not sustainable. It has to be resolved by all ports worldwide, all countries worldwide. So they need to agree.
Exactly, but sometimes it's about piloting and assessing a proof of concept, and then deciding if we want to scale. Where are the priority hubs? Where we have the infrastructure, because in the end, not all countries are at parity.
Exactly. So that's really the whole idea. If you want to have financial equity and you want to be engaged and you want decisions to be made in a way that's really impactful, because you try, you deploy, it works. But then you go into the challenges of adoption. Like, who is ready to do that? And are they going to do it now? Are they going to do it in a couple of years? But at least putting a plan and sharing that with the right AI tools can help you predict if it's really something that's going to be feasible in a couple of years and what will be the positive impact, or it is just something that is good to have, but still the surrounding challenges are not fit, and what should we do about it? So that's really the challenge that we still see.
And the good to have, it's not enough to be, again, very minute, because we will lose the scale. So we don't want to brag about such stories if the carbon emissions and footprint is still exaggerated in other parts. And it's about onboarding the stakeholders, the rest of the suppliers, the rest of the players, building capabilities, ensuring supply, procurement jumps in, regulation.
Exactly. And that's really not just AI. AI is just a tool. So, and one of the challenges, I think, based on what you explained, is it cannot also be that everyone is using their own AI tools and they have different opinion. Okay, because we know today that AI reasoning capabilities can be tweaked. You can actually tune it and direct it and help AI sometime to really, I would say, get more tuned toward your direction and your thoughts.
Echo you.
It can echo you, absolutely. It doesn't have its own mind, so it's more, it will please you. So it doesn't mind. It's true.
Yeah, we don't want to be clapping to ourselves. We want AI to help us in an objective, pragmatic 100%. Way.
And that's one of the things that has been evolving recently in the researches around AI is most of the AI reasoning, which is the capability to do self-supervised learning without depending on human, is to avoid this external rewarding step that we use in fine-tuning and training the models, because the external reward is coming from human beings.
Yeah.
So so that we want the AI at some point to be able to reason, make a decision, and share it with you, you like it or not, you should not have the authority to go back and
I wanted to be boldly honest
Yes.
and not political.
Exactly, 100%.
All right, so let's shift to Gaia. Again,
Okay.
Gaia is our Gen AI at Fusion Minds. So Gaia and multi-agent systems for ESG complexity, this is your baby. So what is Gaia solving for? What makes it different from generic AI tools?
I think a lot of AI tools that exist today, their focus is on primarily the carbon calculations. It doesn't really help you and guide you through an end-to-end journey. So either use it aside of the human consultation that engage with you throughout the org, or you use it like, I want to have advanced calculations, which means that's simple and easy to use. But the idea about Gaia is we are looking at the whole ESG and GSG and GRI and others experience, okay? And we're saying, okay, if an organization wants to be part of the, zero carbon initiative in 10 years, what does it mean? Okay, how do you work with AI throughout the journey? Not just a one-time calculation, getting a PDF report, and then you go and you...
Be our partner in our roadmap to net zero.
Exactly. So the idea here is like engaging with Gaia is like creating a project, okay, with a purpose, which is I want to achieve this by this year. And getting access to data in a secure, safe, reliable way that continuously give you feedback and alteration on how to enhance your journey toward this goal. So it's more like your AI assistant for sustainability, which is on 24/7, and you don't just engage them for one-time calculation method. And that's different, because this is like an expert that's become very specialized in your organization with the capability to benchmark you against others without exposing you to the competitive threats that comes when people try to collaborate around sustainability. So you don't have to worry about, okay, but what will happen to my data? So if I work with this consultation company and they take reports from me, are they going to use it to, with someone else? Are they going to use it to generate a report by end of the year? Say, here are the top trends of 2025, and am I part of that? It's going to be purely dedicated and purely designed to understand your business and become one of your employees eventually that help you to do the sustainability. And the multi-agentic is simply because of the complexity of this process.
Yeah.
This is not like someone sitting there.
To bring focus,
100%.
like every agent is wearing a hat.
100%. It's like you look at all the metrics and the methods and the processes that engage in the proper analysis for ESG or GSG or any other process. You need a specialization. And you need both that.
The technical expertise.
Some of them are good in math. Some of them are good in environmental science. Some of them are good in engineering. Some of them are good in manufacturing. Some of them in logistics and supply chain.
Legal even.
Legal, 100%. And so on, financial, so on. So you need all this expertise, and then you tune them to the vertical. So you need financials in automotive, in food. So it's like, you cannot just go and say, hey, here is a bot and it's going to do that for you.
And nobody knows it all.
Exactly. And the moment you get to a percentage of accuracy on a certain verticalization, a certain specialization, then there is the refinement for your own business. It's like holding your logo. Here is my Gaia, but this is Gaia for this brand. Because it knows everything about my business. It can become the personal assistant for the board, for the CEO and others, and they can always online consult with it whenever they want to make any decisions.
What a dream to come true.
Absolutely. We're pushing forward.
Soon.
Inshallah.
How are you designing multi-agent systems to simulate sustainability scenarios?
Yeah, that's also another key. Is like the more you expand on data and designing this AI, the more also you sometimes lose track of your role to sustain this solution within the acceptable limits of performance to not break the environment. I think it's very important to create this in the culture from day one when you are building. It's like It's not about, hey, it's speed and building something that's big and nice. It's really also about making something that's sustainable and taking in consideration the same goal that we want our customers to achieve. And the good thing that so far there's a lot of initiatives and frameworks out there that help you to monitor and govern your AI performance so that you make sure, okay, it's not just the threshold of retaining accuracy or retaining, fastness of answer. It's also, what is my GPU consumption? What is the amount of emissions that I am contributing in when I use this solution? So keeping an eye on both your solution performance and your solution impact is key in this cycle to stay relevant to the whole cause that you are trying to resolve.
The triggers and the impact.
Absolutely. There are a lot of unknowns. And I won't say that it's easy, because every day there are changes and every day there are improvements. This model is better than this model, and next month they just shift, and then another one comes out, and then another framework comes out with better performance. You have to be dynamic, and you have to consistency be able to change and also adapt, and just keep measuring and fine-tuning your work.
Yeah, great. And I believe this is a continuous change management. It's not like, like in the past, you integrate a certain model and then you can have it at least for 2 decades uninterrupted.
Yeah.
It is something super fluid. We need to keep up, but at least manage what do we want to generate out of it.
It's true. And that's why the AI role is not just in the development of your solution. It's also supervising the performance of your solution. You have to start thinking about AI as a tool that can also help you to govern your solutions. That just set the expectation, understand what should be the outcome, set your goals, and you build another platform of AI that just makes sure that this platform is performing as expected. So think about it as if it's in your org. You have these employees doing the daily tasks, but you have supervisors, and then you have managers. AI should have the same structure.
Will AI, based on this, hold us accountable in the future? Wear this hat?
I cannot say, I cannot be assured 100%, but definitely think about it this way. It's if AI starts doing its own reasoning and it doesn't really depend on human being for rewarding, it will reach a level of judgmental
oversight.
Of course, it will judge human at some point, but it's not gonna take like a massive intervention to stop it. But definitely, it's gonna be alarming for us to do something about it, so that we can protect it. But it's not gonna just sit in the loop all the time, just watching what we're doing. There will be level of, hey, this is wrong. Let's stop and do something else.
The wake-up calls. Yeah. Let's dive into data ethics, planetary intelligence. So many sustainability issues, they come down to data gaps. How can AI help bridge them?
I think the key is back to what we were discussing, is about are we collaborating to reach a certain goal? And is this happening on a community level or a city or a country or even a global or continent level? The more you expand and there is alignment that this is a goal that we want to achieve together, let's say on a global level or a continent level or a country level, and people understand that they have responsibility to make it happen, I think then they will open up to be more transparent, to share this data, as long as you give them also assurances. Yeah, of course, assurances that, hey, this is not just for you to report that you have negative impact on the environment. This is to help you work better, to be more productive.
Find solutions.
Exactly. This is not just to judge anyone. Today, most of the ESG approaches, it's coming from judgment perspective. At least that's what I feel when I talk to people. It's not going to be like that. And I think one of the key areas is when people share data, they think that sometimes that this data has like their secret sauce. Like, this is how my business is working. This is how I'm profitable. So this is also something that has to be taken into consideration, that AI should not be exposing these trends into their business. It's more about, here's my recommendations, here's what you should be doing, let me monitor, let me tell you what is the impact of what you're doing, and let me benchmark you, but I will not be exposing you much to others. So if this start to happen and people feel like, hey, these solutions actually help me and I can get to this status of being productive, profitable, but my impact on environment is less. And it's educational. Now, when you go to someone who have been running business for 20 years and it's very profitable, and then you tell them this is not how it works, it's very tricky. I had one discussion with an example in agriculture. In our countries, especially in North Africa, for many years, the way that they agriculture is by flooding lands with water. So now AI is putting programs to do control
and drip irrigation.
Exactly. So it's like, so what will the farmer do? He's thinking like, okay, if I try this solution for 1 year and I don't get the same amount of crops, I just lose money. I'm done. My business is over.
There is fear because they need to be more aware and educated about
they don't have plan B.
The better techniques 100%. Of farming.
Their business is year by year. So 1 year gap.
One season to season.
One mistake, 100%. One mistake, I'm done.
No income.
Exactly. There is no way for me. So how can we resolve that? How can we say, hey, here is your insurance policy that we guarantee that if it doesn't work, then we will find plan B for you. Or don't worry, we already did a pilot. We prototyped this approach. Here is the result. Let me educate you. Let me show you what was the outcome. Next year, you are with us. You are in good hands. So there has to be some work to prepare people to be ready to adopt these new ideas and not just say, hey, what you're doing is wrong.
Exactly. Many companies as well that are adopting regen agriculture, they are sparing money and giving technical support or microfinances to those farmers to ensure a just transition, because it's not easy to shift from conventional to regenerative, where as well a lot of the technical techniques, skills, and technology are embedded, and it takes time.
100%. Yeah.
It's not a eureka.
This is where the responsibility for these companies, because they're gonna make good money out at the end if things goes in the right direction, and we make sure that we are more productive by less means of
lesser resources and 100%. Climate resilient crops.
You can do more with less, and that's eventually what will happen. And they can expand. Instead of spending the money in the same cycle, they will spend the money in multiplying this by 2 and 3 times. So this is the kind of education and awareness that I think it comes in.
It needs to be cascaded to frontliners.
Exactly, and that's why it's always important when we do also our Fusion Ed work that we are always associating these ideas with not just the AI and technology, but for people to learn that change is not really gonna hurt you or harm your business in any way.
Yes, this is when we keep the force for good at core.
Exactly.
How do you ensure AI remains transparent, accountable, and non-exploitative?
Well, there are areas where you have to control a lot of the performance metrics, even though they might impact your progress. So sometimes you feel like I can do more if I just let it go. Like if I just empower it a bit more, I can see it. It's going to be much more accurate. It's going to be much more productive. It's going to be exactly where I want it to be. But you understand the risk that's coming with that, because you know that this is a line that maybe also if we cross that, I won't get to the level of privacy and governance that I need, especially with data and other stuff. You cannot just open it up. So I think, again, it's back to all these governance tools. You need to have this as part of your strategy.
And the values of your dashboard.
Yeah, of course. It's keeping this live, understanding when to push the red button to stop everything and to go back again and monitor and set the guardrails. It's different. This is analytical. This is more into making business decisions that can impact billions of dollars. So you need to design it very well to make sure it is structured in a way that this data is for you to consume and give an outcome. It's not to keep learning and expanding and growing. And that requires different type of algorithm and development on the AI side.
And to add on what you said, it is by being in the decisions, it's not only generating an impact on profitability or revenues, also people and communities. Yeah. And that's why the consciousness hat need to be always on top.
Yeah.
We cannot marginalize, again, the guardrails that can have negative externalities on the S, which is the social factor.
100%. Yeah.
Are there risks of greenwashing by automation? How do we avoid that?
Look, again, I think the statement of automation when it comes to sustainability, it has to be taken in consideration within the context of what we're trying to do. The way I see it when it comes to automation and sustainability is what exactly are we trying to achieve, right? Automation was done because we felt like the contribution of individuals or certain machinery was part of the problem, or it is more like it's cost effective to overcome some decisions that we need to make. So it's tricky. We need to understand the purpose, and then based on the purpose, we can...
The what and the why.
Yeah. And then we can decide, is it going to impact greenwashing, or it's going to be just, for the sake and value for everyone? It's very hard to point out what can cause that without going into the details of what is the purpose of what we are doing and understanding what will be the results from this one.
And are we doing it one-off without really proper substantiation and just eager to communicate that we've done something, or there's a greater good, a more sustainable
100%. Because think about it this way, everything we do with sustainability is not going to solve the problem now. It's going to solve the problem later.
It's a future outlook starting from the now.
Exactly. A lot of businesses that we work with today, they might already have stocked a lot of materials that we know that it should not be part of the future roadmap. So what we're going to do, we cannot just tell them stop again. But again, the decision has to be like, here is where you should go. Watch the results throughout the journey. Hopefully you will get convinced with it. Then you will embrace this automation, and you will understand that whatever decisions were made to eliminate some factors that were causing this negative, I would say, outcomes, it's for the good of everyone. And then we repurpose. I think that's going to be different based on region, based on country, based on cultures. And that's where most of the intelligent work has to be done.
Seeing is believing, but sometimes it's about taking the leap of faith, implementing step by step.
Yeah, exactly. Because people will definitely follow when they see positive results and they hear all the success of others. But those who jump initially and make these steps, the first movers, they're definitely going to lead the way. They're going to have some scars. They're going to learn, but they're going to be able to be on the right track and adapt and lead eventually. And as I said, it will influence people decisions eventually when they see the results, and that's the most important part we should focus on.
Yeah, this brings conviction.
Yeah.
So pivoting to tech, planet, and profit, can we have all three? Can sustainability-driven AI be profitable, or this is still a moonshot idea?
I think we are not there yet. And the reason is it will be interesting to see even, I gave the example of the AI advancement and the expansion and even the impact of that on the carbon dioxide emission. So if you look in the next 10 years, let's say, and we see like how much is the percentage of this AI advancement is actually designated to resolve sustainability and ecological problems versus profitable business, I think that's going to answer this question, because those who are working on advancements with AI, if they're not going to keep an eye on the impact of this technology versus the profitability, I think that profitability will definitely win. So to balance between the planet, the tech, and the
business, the
business
economic side,
it needs a different approach. And there is always a question that I think comes up, like, how much is enough?
Well,
So is it going to be like certain companies that are expanding on certain economy? Is this going to be like today, 75% of carbon dioxide emissions comes from fossil fuel. So when this goes away, it's not just the emission. There was also billions and trillions of dollars generated from this fossil fuel.
exactly.
So-
And still it is needed for all the data centers.
Exactly.
And
It's
the
much more
computation
efficient.
speed
Of course.
versus renewables.
So how is this financial shift is going to happen?
No.
Okay, is it going to be like, okay, we are spending more money that we are making out of this fossil fuel to drive more sustainable projects? Then great, we definitely are on the right track. But is it going to be more like, let's converge, let's get profitable from this and profitable from this? That's going to be a very difficult situation to be in the next 10 years. So yes, can we have the three of them? Maybe, but it requires different mindsets and different guardrails also for how wealth is being designed.
And how wealth is measured? Is it only what we have on the balance sheet, or it's the double materiality outlook, where
Perfect.
all the impact in the value chain operation can be, associated to financials, and then we look at things from different lenses.
No, 100%. Yeah.
What kind of partnerships, industry, academia, civil society are needed to scale impact?
I think everything is needed. It's like it's a
All of us.
responsibility. Of course, it's a responsibility. First of all, it's an individual responsibility. It's not my company. It's not my country. It's not my city. It's me. Okay, it's how I do on personal level things that I know that's going to drive better environment and better future for sustainability. Then I take it to my family. Then I take it to office. And that's how it should be. It's like everyone collaborating and helping each other. I think we have heard about carpooling for a long time.
Yeah.
But you will be surprised that adopting carpooling in many countries is still almost zero. Okay, so why? How can we resolve this problem? That's something that we need to work on. There will be a lot of other great ideas, but adoption might be really...
The human drivers, the problems, and then the collaboration.
Exactly. There might be a lot of reasons, and they're all good reasons. So either we all step in together and step up and we say, okay, hey, we all need to be part of this to fix it. It's not going to be on an individual level for sure. So
Never.
Everything you mentioned has to be part of the decision.
Exactly. Scale, it's not a solo journey. Everybody should be on the dance floor.
100%.
What role can MENA play in exporting sustainable AI solutions to the world?
I think the Middle East, one of the beauty of this region is diversity. So when you look at data in MENA and our region here, you can literally analyze diversified data from people from nations worldwide without having to go to every country. So you can see the reaction of we all from different countries, but living in the same place. So one of the key things when making these informative decisions about sustainability is to understand the behavior of different people, different cultures, different mindset, different backgrounds on new ideas or directions or decisions. I think that's what the world doesn't have, but the region has. It's like, okay, you want to trial a new idea, and instead of pushing this idea to every single country in the world and try to prototype it, you can just bring it here. And you can see all these responses and behavior and adoption, and you can analyze that at small scale, of course, but then you can at least understand and enhance it before you go more global and try to pilot it and push it out. So I believe that's really one of the unique values that we can provide to the world is this diversified testing and analysis and piloting of ideas.
And at the same time, if I may say, like few countries and governments, they are led by visionary leaders that are willing to break barriers, fuel innovation like there's no tomorrow. So the hunger and the vision and the attraction of talents from all over the world to prototype, plus the the agenda behind diversifying as well energy portfolio, which goes hand in hand to cater to sustainable AI.
Yeah, no, definitely. All these are catalysts to be
Exactly.
able to drive change and test it and make sure that we create blueprints within this region. And hopefully the world can also absorb it and
Benefit
benefits.
and
Absolutely.
import
Yes, 100%.
the knowledge that
Yes.
can be accelerated
Yeah,
in MENA.
true.
So let's move to fire questions. Ready, Ahmed?
Yeah, Lavin.
Favorite sustainability startup using AI?
Okay. So as we discussed previously, I think on the personal level, we need to drive this cultural change. So the application that really have been at least exciting me are those that help you on individual and community level to start building at least some basic culture and changing the mindset before going through this enterprise achievement. So I think one of these apps that I actually tried it during my recent trips. I think it's an app that's called
Olio?
Olio, and what they do is they help you to live in more of an eco-sustainable environment and community
Okay.
by sharing unused food between neighbors. So if you store food and you believe that the expiration date is soon and you won't be able to like cook all this food.
So you have excess.
Exactly, you have excess from certain type of foods and food throwing away food. I'm not talking about cooked food. I'm talking about stored uncooked food.
Organic food. It's methane emissions at the landfill.
100%. It's like what we're gonna do with it. So it helps people to really collaborate. Say, hey, I have this excess food. Who can make use of it? So, and then people say, okay, you know what? I can consume this in the next 10 days or even distribute it on many others, because sometimes people like store things extra that they don't need. And it's a different mindset. Like people would never expose what kind of foods they have. But this was very interesting for me to see how people actually, and it's surprising to see how people sometimes just have excess food.
Yeah.
That you got shocked with the amount of food that they throw away.
And in our area, especially in Ramadan, it's a lot of food consumption and preparation and purchased, be it in Horeca or households.
Yeah.
By the way, there is a beautiful initiative as well that I think started in Europe called Too Good To Go. It's around this concept that, and a lot of collaboration with retailers and suppliers.
Yeah.
Around the best before and the expiry, consume by.
Yeah.
And there was as well, inshallah, we will host him, another startup called Replate here. So it's about as well taking care of the access food, which is clean, still hygienic, how it's replated and then Ubered to other households or food bank.
100%. It's the community responsibility. And not everything that comes from to pollute is coming from the smoke chimneys. We do this on a daily basis and we have to contribute.
Yeah, we're responsible, absolutely. Yeah. One metric you'd love to see automated.
Metric, I think the personal carbon footprint on daily basis. I think if we all see on our mobiles or our
watches,
the wearables, exactly. If we see just an indication, we all do this amazing fitness app. We want to see
heartbeats and calories and
calories and heartbeats and stuff like that. That's fantastic for your own health and elevating your everything, health and everything. But really, I would be interested to see us also looking at what we do on daily basis that impact this environment. Like, calculate when you travel with your car, like between different locations, how much a carbon dioxide did I burn today? If I go and eat outside, if I buy from certain supermarkets. Maybe.
Even when we buy from Amazon, some people, every single item, they want to ship it through Prime to their house instead of sandwiching everybody in a box.
And they stack all these boxes.
So these are direct and indirect emissions.
These are all decisions in our hands, right? Are you really consuming the right products? Are you more of a person that goes green versus, this packed plastic stuff?
And how to go to the next level
100%.
as well.
And set for yourself goals. Like say, hey, I've been like 2,000 plus carbon dioxide emissions, can I be 1,800 next month? What is the recommendation? Maybe also the app. Maybe you should buy food from certain places because they are more sustainable than others.
And will I be rewarded as well
100%.
by companies
Why
that
not?
can help me in this journey?
It can be rewarded by companies. It can be rewarded even on country level. Like this taxation system that has been in place to people.
On the wealth.
On the wealth, saying that this is more like a contribution to make better environment and for spending money to create better cities and systems. It can also be deducted, and it can also be reduced if I'm a person that I'm under a certain carbon dioxide emission.
So not only at corporate
Absolutely.
level, individual
I can
level.
be rewarded cash. I can get my tax system under a certain level, and 1 or 2% will definitely help everyone. So there are a lot of good ideas, but back to the fields of responsibility.
What's in it really for me?
Exactly.
How am I, really making a difference? How
Yes.
people can think really the individual responsibility can steer the wave of
I think
change.
I was reading a book, and they were talking about that the number one incentive for human being to do anything is feeling rewarded.
Yeah.
It can be emotional reward, doesn't have to be cash. But when you do something and you get rewarded for
Recognized.
it, you actually, that's like the most exciting things for you. So if you want to drive this globally or on individual levels also, just reward the people. Find a way to do that. This is one of the key metrics that I believe is missing today. We overlook it big time.
Yeah, thank you, Ahmed.
No worries.
If Gaia had a motto, yesterday we said if Gaia would speak her first word or its first word. If Gaia had a motto, what would it be?
I think what we're trying to do, as I told you from the beginning, the idea is not just to have a tool that gives you insight or calculations or stuff like that. It's a solution. It's a tool that works with you.
Advisory.
Yeah. So maybe the motto or the advice here will be that it only works together. It's not AI, it's not me, it's not you, it's one planet. We're all going to sit there. And you have to trust, like we talked about the trust the last episode. You have to trust the technology, and technology has to trust you also, that you're going to use it to solve the problem and not just to overcome your own problem. So yeah, I think that's how Gaia hopefully is going to help everyone.
And this will make the relationship in symbiosis because we need each other. So thank you so much, Ahmed.
Thank you.
And this episode reinforced that sustainability isn't one problem. It is a network of interlinked challenges. Ahmed showed us how intelligent systems driven by ethics can help us find the signals in the noise. So stay tuned to the third episode with Ahmed. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Yasmin. Thank you.